When it comes to Illuvium, the next 2 months are going to be an absolute whirlwind, with a chance for the Illuvium open beta to launch in March. But there are lots of other things to look forward to, not just in March, but beyond March as well. And if you are not watching Illuvium right now, starting to watch at the end of March or into April, you might just find yourself too late to get involved with Illuvium. Now, obviously it will be free to play and anyone will be able to jump on at any time. But if you really want to make the most of it, this video is going to help you understand everything that's going on in Illuvium and why it matters to you in the long run. There's so much exciting stuff. So firstly, earning in the Illuvium arena. So right now, the Illuvium arena doesn't have too many players. Now it has over 30,000 monthly active players and maybe 1,000 daily active players on any given day, according to Nick from Illuvium. But what's more important is that this is going to grow really, really fast. So lots of people getting the hang of Illuvium arena. I'll talk about that more in just a moment. But as you can see, we're introducing rewards for arena gameplay. More info on this soon. What we do know so far is it's going to include the top 5,000 players and also really focus on some of the top players as well. So if you're constantly rank 1 in the Illuvium arena, you could be earning $200-300 US every single week. I'm really not sure, but there's definitely going to be some rewards in it for you. So now is a good time to learn the game, get good at the game, so that when rewards kick in very, very soon, you will be able to take a part of that. The next thing is the Illuvium esports scene is growing really fast. This one is happening for the next 4 weeks, 800 USDC on the table every single time. If you're even moderately good at the game, there is currently only 40 or 50 people registered for this tournament. So you can get a cut of that 800 USDC. This is the Illuvium Inferno, a tournament I host on the channel, and it has $500 USD every single week. This is the 7th tournament that's been run. There are about 10 or 11 tournaments in total that have been run for the arena within about a month or two, okay? There are a lot of tournaments that have already happened, okay? So the tournaments and the esports scene is growing very, very quickly. The next thing is that Illuvium Zero Fuel Generation. For those of you that are land holders or those of you that are watching land hoping to buy some for yourself, it has been stated or speculated that Illuvium land will enter open beta about 2 weeks, maybe more, before the rest of the Illuvium ecosystem. I'll talk about the release date in a second, so don't worry about that. But these 2 weeks before are a big opportunity to get a head start on your Illuvium plots and make sure that you're upgrading them fast enough. Now, if you haven't bought land yet and you're interested in buying land, jump on alluvialmaster.com, go search for a great deal, because you do not want to miss out on this early phase of upgrading your Illuvium land plot. The next thing is the game launch. Now here's the roadmap right here. We have already seen Illuvium go through some hype cycles as the Illuvium Arena Private Beta 3 kicked off with Epic Games. The Illuvium token saw some change in its value, but more importantly, everyone in the Discord got a lot more active, it got a lot more positive. There were some negatives as well, but they are upgrading the Illuvium Arena game really, really fast. And now every single game of Illuvium is playable at the moment, and some of the devs and other team members have even started looking towards into the future. As you can see here, the Arena Beta 4 and Overworld Beta 4 are slated for this quarter. Only 2 months away probably until we see something like that. But also, they've talked about how public beta launch is still aiming for Q1 of 2024, and Q2 is just kind of like a fail-safe in this case. So we're likely to see open beta sometime in March or April. That's why I'm saying March might just be too late, okay? The next thing we should talk about are future games coming to Illuvium. So this one right here. Aaron says, I don't do that deliberately except when I do, but usually now I'm just saying I don't want to leak some things, but they are pretty obvious if you know that later on we would very much like to make a multiplayer battle royale game. Firstly, this means the Illuvium Overworld is about to get a whole lot more fun to play. Okay, a lot more active, a lot more engaging. But secondly, that's just one of the many games the Illuvium team is looking at to building out in the future. Now, anyone who's been watching the project knows that they've got a lot of the assets made for so many different kinds of games. For a MOBA, they've probably got everything set up except maybe the main arena. For a real-time strategy game, very, very similar. They've got everything pretty much set up. For a kart racer, probably takes a bit more work, but Kieran has said that he would really love to see a kart racer coming up sometime soon, something a little zany. For a trading card game, they've already got all the cards in the form of Illuvium Beyond, and that is very possible to come to the ecosystem very quickly. And for a battle royale, now that they've made all the weapon and attack animations for the overworld, they're pretty much just shy of adding multiplayer and PvP to add a battle royale game to the ecosystem. So if you think Illuvium is done with these 3 games, they are a studio and they're going to be making so many more amazing things in the future after this public beta launch. So keep that in mind. The last thing I want to talk about is the Illuvium Overworld. Okay. Hold on. Let's have a really quick look at some of this gameplay. As you can see, it looks really crisp. The map is huge and there's so many different things going on and so many different alluvials for you to run around, capture, and collect. This game is going to pop off as soon as these are all NFTs and you are able to get them yourself. Remembering that every single time an alluvial is caught, it is harder for other players to capture that alluvial in the future, making this a living and breathing economy, even if it doesn't have a whole lot of direct multiplayer features off the bat when it launches. Now, the other thing we should consider is that they all have random stats as well. You can see from, you can see from here that they all have random stats on the left over there. In this case, it has a really good defensive traits, some good damage, and really good Omega power. It's actually quite a good Volante, and something that might fetch a slightly higher price on the open market than some other alluvials that you capture might. So it's going to be really interesting that every single alluvial you find is going to feel quite unique in the way that you capture it, the way you interact with it. And then when you go into the Leviathan arena to play against those hardcore players, it's going to be really crazy seeing your Ramfire with perfect stats destroying an Axodon because they couldn't be bothered trying to find one with really good stats. There is also hollow alluvials. I have more videos coming about that, but basically maybe a 1 in 4,000 or 1 in 10,000 or whatever chance to find a hollow or a dark hollow alluvial. There are not going to be many of these in existence, and if you're lucky enough to find one, it might just be one of your greatest Web3 gaming moments.